Hi, my name is Logan Klaus, and I'm a producer, singer, and songwriter from the Billboard 500 Club's private mentorship program with Adam McInnis. Thank you so much for tuning into the Music Industry Contact YouTube channel. We do hit song breakdowns, demo critiques, and have a wealth of music industry-related information for you to check out at any time. Today we're breaking down NCT DREAM's Go. I'm very excited. I have not heard this song before. As you know, we can't monetize these videos, so we would love to have you as part of our Patreon Golden Ear community, which gives you exclusive early access content, including videos and polls for selecting our next breakdowns. If you're already supporting, thank you so much, and if you'd like to join, just click the link in the description. All right, let's get into NCT DREAM's Go. All right, I am very excited. I have not heard this song before, so yeah, let's get right into it here. See what's coming down the pipe for this one. Wild. Okay. It's just a weird chord progression.
Hey, change your ways.
Okay. This track is wild.
Nope.
Wow. I love the film grain. Wow. Wow. Jeez. There's just a lot of weird harmony going on. Wow. Wow, there is so much going on here. That is wild. That is definitely attention grabbing. That is for sure. There's a lot going on here. It reminds me of that X-Tentacion song that's like, da, 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 and they're just yelling, and it's wild, and it's just very masculine energy, just kind of like very forceful, very drivey. There is so much going on here in the track. I don't even know where to start with this. It's just very interesting sound choices. I'm sure they spent a lot of time on that portamento sound in the bass. The bow wah ba 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 bow wah ba 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 ba. That's cool. It's just very interesting, very in your face. I love it. Before we get started, I always want to just get this out on the table, because I'll be using this terminology a lot. If you haven't heard this before, in the club we call it the power of threes, but it's basically a formula for subconscious turnarounds, and it happens all throughout music. And just, it's good to be aware of kind of the parts of our biology that are, kind of moving and influencing the way that we're producing and the way that, our attention span works for, when it comes to listening to music. But basically it's a formula where, you do one thing one time, change it up slightly on the second time, go back to the first thing, and then on the fourth time you change it up. That's one formula for it. It's kind of two other ones too, where it's like same, different on the third, and then either the same or different on the fourth time. And yeah, we'll hear it here in the song. I'm sure I'll point it out. But there's just a lot going on here. So let's just get right into it here. I'm gonna start it again, and we'll kind of take it section by section and just see what I'm hearing or what we can pull out of here and kind of use for inspiration for tools for our own tracks. All right, here we go. Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's hard to kind of like, it's weird to, so there's a great example of the power 3 there. You know how, he kind of had some kind of lead-in phrase on the 4th time. That's a great way of saying, just doing something 3 times, repeating it, and then having some kind of ear candy or something on the 4th time. But I wanted to point out this sound right at the start here. It's a great way to grab attention. I notice one of the biggest things that I'm learning from breaking down these K-pop songs is how everything is so calculated, and the attention that they're trying to get is so, upfront, in your face. It's always vying for control of whatever sort of feeling that they are communicating to you and trying to pull that out of you. Here, it's obviously kind of, an unhinged feeling. It's kind of aggressive. And so let's kind of, with that in mind, let's kind of trying to see how the producers of this track are communicating those emotions in a way that, goes along with the vocals, right? So that sound right off the bat grabs attention. I don't know what it is. I also, I can tell that this is a synth, but it's just a cool sound. I've never heard anything like that before. Let's play this little 4 bars here again. I love that, like, race car.
Hey, change your ways.
Nice. Nice.
Nope.
Great. So the first half of this, we already have kind of a call and response melody, and that's, super catchy, going from one vocalist to, the group going, na, 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 na. And, I really like the sense of space that they're using here. One of the ways to grab attention is not only, playing things, but space is huge, Those kind of things are in duality, obviously. The sound and the space between, like, I think it's a very famous, like, blues guitar phrase that, what's more important is not the notes, but the space between the notes, and how are the ideas being communicated in a way that's kind of gives people enough time to process it and let them get pulled out of the experience a little bit. If you make them wait, they're thinking about waiting, Kind of imagine yourself as the listener and listen to your thoughts here as this is taking place. It's just a really catchy section, too. I mean, the percussion is weird. It's got a really weird vibe. It's very it kind of creeps me out in a way. I like it. It's just, I don't know if this is kind of what this is going for. Like, I definitely am relating this to some kind of mumble rap style sort of deal that, I'm used to hearing. But, I've never heard anything like this, that's for sure. Let's keep going. I want to listen to that section one more time.
From you. Nope.
Wow. So you'll notice there was kind of a bit of a sub bass added in that second half of the verse. So we're kind of in like verse 1B now. The first 4 bars went by. We had kind of a vocal motif that was very call and response for the first half, and the second half here is very singy. I'm pretty sure they're alternating band members, which is cool. But I wanted to point out the placement of the kick. One of the ways that they're building tension in leading up to the chorus is, being very sparse with the percussive elements. And when it gets to the chorus, obviously the drum beat is more full and in the groove. But if we can kind of ride above this feeling of being in the groove while the verse is lasting, that's going to definitely keep the listener in some kind of hypnotic state here. I love the sound of the bass as well, but I don't know if you guys can hear that, but when it kind of, compared to the first half of this verse, there's another lower element that's added here. It's building in a way that is not super obvious, and I think it's literally just like opening up the EQ on the low end a little bit. I could be wrong though. Let's hear that one more time.
From you. Nope.
perhaps the bass line is just getting more complex than what it was before too. I don't know. It seems deeper. It seems more forceful. And obviously we have like a real sub bass coming in here. Very like sine wave, though. It's not super growly sub. I think it's because we've had so much. It feels sub-like for the first half, but there's still kind of low frequency that can be, still used up for later in the song. I mean, I don't know if I would consider this the chorus. I would consider the chorus probably when they're all cheering and, that sort of thing. But, that's another principle that can be, adopted from this is you have to contrast each section not only energy-wise and feel-wise, but also in the frequency spectrum. The chorus should feel the most full in the frequency spectrum, and the verses and pre-choruses should feel either stripped back or in, kind of contradiction to the chorus. So if you kind of leave the bass out in the verse, then it should come back in the chorus, or, vice versa. If there's a lot of bass in the verse, then maybe you should consider taking the bass out for the pre-chorus and then bringing the bass back in again for the chorus. It's using the ability to pull elements in and out is what's going to keep the music interesting for the listener. Other than that, I like the hi-hat pattern a lot. That's what's going on here. The percussion is keeping it very in like this drunk feeling. Nothing's really locked in. I feel like I'm at some kind of party and the walls are melting. And, I wonder, I'm going to try to turn the subtitles on. See, I don't know if I can select the, okay, so it looks like I can only go to, there's an auto translate. Not bad. I'm curious what they're singing about. Okay. All right, let's see what they're singing about here too. Just let's keep going here. There's that sub bass. Yeah. Wow. Wow. So one of the things I've been trying to do is kind of group sections together. So like for verse 1 A and B, or chorus A and chorus B, and how they're kind of. This song is a great example because it's obviously cut in half. So it comes in with the sub bass. The lower frequencies are filled up more often. There's not a lot of space in the low end like there was in the verse, right? So we're contrasting the chorus here. But what's going on in the chorus is very interesting because the first half, we have like the, chanty little bit, but in the second half of that chorus, we have that descending chromatic line singing. So in each kind of section, there's micro contradiction and micro contrast going on. So chorus 1A and chorus 1B are slightly different. They keep you engaged. So far, there hasn't even been really a whole lot of repeating melodies or repeating motifs in the Power of Three sort of thing. They're really, playing on the fringes of that style. But it does kind of come back up, I guess, slightly in the second half of this chorus here. So let's just take a spin through that again. So, yeah, it changes up on the fourth time there. Go, go. So in that 4-bar section, we had same, different, and then different. So that would be like the third formula for the Power of Threes there that they're using. They could have very well gone back on the fourth time to the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na to finish it off if they wanted to, but I do like how they decided to keep with the more parallel style of doing this here. I'm almost starting to kind of imagine it as like how swing works in a drum. So if you're playing it on just a drum set, non-swing would be da 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 da. That would be swung. And then non-swung would be like bump, tit, cut, tit, bump, tit, cut, tit, bump, tit, cut, tit, bump, tit, cut, tit. And it's this kind of like bump, tit, 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 tit. If you, maybe this is kind of a far-fetched connection, but, you know, each of the different power of threes kind of has a different feeling. And this kind of more parallel feeling feels very straight time compared to the formula when it gets used as kind of like same, different, and then same again. Just putting that out there is kind of an idea. Take with that what you will. But yeah, let's keep going into this song.
Yep.
I like bringing back that motif from the first verse. Nice. So, wow, it looks like we're going into some new section there. But for the first half of that verse, so it looks like we're going to get kind of a 16-bar verse 2. So the first 4 bars are the na, 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 na thing. The second half, we have it kind of get broken up, be more singy. So you'll notice they're using the same pattern as far as the melody goes from the chorus, and they've kind of blown that pattern up again in the verse. So it's very parallel here. They could have gone, I guess, if we're going to talk about each of them being 4 sections, let's just say it's like verse 2A, B, C, and D. So verse 2A is the na, 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 na. Verse B is the more singy section here. And it looks like we're going into like a completely brand new feeling here as well. So for C and D, if you're going to say 2, C and D. But it's cool how each of those sections are contrasting each other vocally, as well as just rhythmically. Interesting sort of deals. Some of it is crowd vocal. How are they contrasting crowd vocal with more of like an emotional delivered vocal? That's one thing to think about. And I mean, I'm seeing this in every single K-pop song. This is breakdown number 9 for me. And I have seen it in every single one, this tactic of like verse 1A and verse 1B and how they're micro-contrasting each other. The production is just providing a support system for the vocalists to keep the most of the attention coming for the listener here, which is just very interesting. I'm curious what kind of differences in production we've had here for this second verse. I just want to play it through one more time if we could.
Yep.
Love that little pause. Genius. If you can get a good kind of silence break like that, this is going back to what we were talking about before. That pause is great. Okay, continuing on into the second bit of this. Notice how the vocals lead into the next section like that. What ways are we telling the listener we're going into something? Sometimes it could be like a pause before the bar is going to be like, oh, there's another section coming. What's the transition like? I don't really hear a riser. If there is, it's very quiet. Yeah. So this song, at least in the verses, doesn't have any risers. They're relying on the vocalists to actually carry in the section and give us that subconscious turnaround feeling. You know, the listener, you know, your mom, your friends in the car, they're not aware of it. It's not something that they're consciously aware of how the music is affecting their senses, but subconsciously we need something to tell us the next section's coming. That's what drum fills are for. That's what risers are for. That's you know, what a melody lead-in moment like this is for. So yeah, there we go. I've noticed something a lot with these kind of masculine energy songs too, is they'll rely a lot on like the beat 1 impact. It's very strong when it comes to getting this same emotion across. Like, they did the same thing in Monsta X Love Killa. If you'd love to watch that video, it should be up on YouTube as well, or Patreon. I'm not sure. It'll be on either of those platforms. But that was the same situation in that song. They had like impact on the beat one. It really kind of gets home this drivey feeling. It kind of feels like, you know, you listen to like Lord of the Rings, and when they're flying through, when the camera's flying through like the orc factories and the hammers are hitting on beat one, and it's like this powerful thing, like boom, take a deep breath, boom, take a deep breath, again, dum, the Michael Bay, you know, whatever you call it. It's just, that's it. Just an interesting tactic, and maybe something to pull from this, compared to, you know, just an idea when it comes to trying to get this aggressive, but still kind of chill and laid back, very masculine, very like, yeah, it's just, it's a very interesting type of energy that you could definitely borrow from in any context. It's just something cool that's kind of come across a few of these songs now. Yeah, let's hear this rap section, I guess, that we're going into. Which, again, that's not something we've heard in the song yet. It's contrasting the second half of the verse. Or, sorry, it's contrasting the first half of the verse. And here we have the second half of the verse going into some kind of different section vocally. Wow. Chorus? Yeah. So remember how a little earlier in the video I was talking about, you know, using the frequency spectrum to contrast different sections of the song? So in a weird way, that was kind of a pre-chorus. It served the purpose of a pre-chorus in the fact that the low end came out. They had that kind of offbeat snare. The snare was very like syncopated and not in the groove. It would kept you above the beat. I mean, you know, I'm starting to look at this as kind of being in the groove and being out of the groove, removed and you know, in, and like, how do you pull the listener in and out of the song strategically? So in this pre-chorus here, I'm kind of sitting up in my chair a little bit, listening to it. And then when the chorus comes, we're like, even their body movement in the music video, even your head is like, boom, impact on beat one. In this pre-chorus, I'm like standing up. I'm kind of, my body language is different. The feeling is different. It's removed from the track. And then we land in the track again. It's very well put together here. But, you know, just that. Also, there's a new element sound coming in here that's like kind of, it sounds like a click. If you've ever heard Power Lines by Tame Impala, it sounds like the click tone right at the beginning of that song. It's just interesting. You know? You know? There's so many complicated rhythmic themes in this track that I wouldn't be able to sing you the exact bass line, but I kind of know what it sounds like, or I wouldn't be able to sing that da-da-da-da thing, but I don't know if it changes up enough, or if it changes, where it changes, or what the specifics of it are, and that's, you know, that's a pretty cool tactic in using this, like, you know, obviously on a computer grid in your DAW, you're like putting things on the grid and giving the right space and, you know, manipulating things rhythmically. I'm sure they were fooling around rhythmically a lot with what was going on, and how do we, you know, convey the feeling that we're trying to get at here. So we've been looking at this song from the perspective of someone trying to communicate kind of aggressive, but still laid back, still like moderately elegant energy, and they've been doing a really good job. It's slightly unhinged too, though. There's like I'd say there's like an undercurrent of like psychotic a little bit in this song, and that's really cool. The way that they're communicating it through the production is very interesting. So let's take a listen to this chorus here and see what changes up since the first one. Sub bass comes back. And then Okay, before we go into the next section, I just want to point out that power of 3 there. If you look at the whole chorus, it was the same, different with the da na 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 na, and then back to the same thing again. So there you have it. Over the course of those, I guess it'd be something like 8, maybe 16 bars, depending on how quick you're counting it. But, you know, the 4 sections of that chorus was da, 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 and then da 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 da, and then da na na. You know, very interesting how we like that type of situation going on here. It's I mean, in contrast to the other formulas that they were using throughout the song, the other formulas had been very you know, parallel to each other. One thing for 2, one thing for 2, one thing for 2, one thing for 2. This is cool that they're going back to the same motif in the chorus to contrast the other sections of the song and the other formulas that they're using. I mean, I don't know if they're thinking about this, but if they are, they're freaking geniuses. And I mean, I hope to one day achieve that level of meticularity, if that's even a word, like just like intense detail and paying attention to having every single element be so important. There's nothing clashing here. There's been nothing clashing the whole song. It's a hard lesson to learn, and like deleting things. I don't remember who it was. I think it's Kendrick Lamar or somebody says things like, I know a song is finished when I can't delete anything else. And it's very true in these situations. There's a lot of elements going on, but despite there being a lot of elements, the elements aren't clashing with each other. It's very important. Yeah, I'm going to keep playing this song through here. Nice. Wow. Wow. Okay, so that bridge, I know I kind of let it play into the chorus there. That bridge is very interesting, contrasting the other sections of the song, but just it's very rhythmically advanced, or, you know, mature. Very rhythmically mature is a good word for it, because it's just out there. It's not what you expect from a rap song, for sure. At least I've never heard anything, you know, with this much throwing your head around, and, you know, it's very complex, this production here. It reminds me, you know, actually one day I was studying the song Peaches by Justin Bieber, and it's crazy because the production on that song comes across as if it's very simple and very like just, but actually where the elements are placed and how they're placed and how they're different from each other, and the level of detail that comes in that song is very similar to this. It's very eye-opening when you, like, if you were to actually try and plot this out on a grid and, you know, recreate this track, that it would take a very long time, and it would take a lot of replaying these elements to hear them. But, you know, especially I love the way that the rap kind of steps out, and it's almost like a solo, even, if you would say. This kind of this rap that this guy does here, it's very rhythmically interesting compared to the rest of the song. So let's take a listen to what he says. That's also the first time we've heard a 4 on the floor kick there. Bum, 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 bum. You know, we haven't heard that at all in the rest of the song, and it really caught my attention because we haven't heard that feeling yet, that like EDM boom, 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 boom thing, which is cool. So, you know, they make it very clear that we're going into a new section and we've got something new to add, something new to say, and we're going to take it from a different perspective here. Even, you know, you notice in the music video how much these, whoever's producing these music videos as well is aware of keeping attention and, you know, selecting camera angles and different things for different sections that are still keeping people's attentions or adding depth to the video that they've already had. the purpose of a bridge is to just take someone deeper and look at the feeling from an omniscient perspective. I'm starting to, I feel at least like a bridge is to be, is to one layer remove everybody from the song, and kind of show them and sum it up and kind of reevaluate the entire track from that omniscient perspective before going back into the chorus one more time. Yeah. That's so cool. I just want to listen to that kick. That kick is amazing. The kick, the way that it's placed, it's almost like a solo instrument. It's incredible. And that. Wow, so the side chaining on that synth too. Wow, 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 wow. Super cool. The level of detail is just amazing. And how they created that sound, I have no idea. That's awesome. Even when the kick isn't there, there's still side chaining on that, which is just super cool. Like, contrasting the rest of the song with that bop, 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 bop drinking game every time I say the word contrast, holy. But it's huge. It's huge. I'm trying to, like, program myself to think about it that way. Oh, I just used the wrong side of that pen. I don't know. Hopefully I don't have a mark. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, let's play this song out to the end. And yeah, this is amazing. This is a really, really great song. Lots to learn from here as far as communicating this emotions in this way. Contrast again, they're using a completely different part of their voice for the second half of the bridge compared to the first half, which was very ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-da. In the second half, they're very, emotional and high and in their head voice. It's just are they thinking about this? I'm starting to think that K-pop producers are in on some kind of secret formula I just was not aware of until listening to this music, because I don't know if it's as obvious and as intense in at least, some of the hits from the last 10 years in America and Canada that I'm used to having heard. I mean, obviously I haven't been paying attention as much as I have been recently to this sort of thing, but still, it's crazy how each section contrasts each other so well and in every single possible way that it can. So if I'm sure that the producer was like, well, we did a rap section and it was in your chest, so maybe we should do a high singing section in your head voice. And they're like, oh yeah, that's great. Great contrast, just like that. Perfect. Wow. Awesome. Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, wow. Yeah, before I give my final thoughts, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, if it provided you any kind of value, I would absolutely love it if you liked and subscribed. We could use it here, share these videos with your friends. Click the notification bell if you want to keep getting updated for videos like this. I find it super educational to be breaking down and, hyper analyzing these. Obviously, these are hits. I mean, we're talking songs in the over 20s and 30s, 50s, sometimes hundreds of millions of views, right? It's obviously working and but I mean, learning the formula or learning the rules so that at least you can break them, is, it's a super valuable thing. If you're looking to go deeper into this sort of thing and really dedicate some time to it, I really can't recommend enough the producer breakdowns on the Music Industry Contact website, billboard500.com. It's a Thinkific course. I was part of a few of them. The ones that were super beneficial to me were Calvin Harris, Phineas, Rick Rubin, Diplo, and Pharrell Williams. Basically, you go through and you listen to all of their hits that are kind of cross generational, even, decades long. These producers have been around for a very long time, and kind of see what the consistencies are between their biggest songs and what kind of tools or tricks that they're using to kind of stay on the charts, and build sort of a tool list, or just write down what the formula is for their music and what the consistencies are. Also, if you're a musician, producer, songwriter, or singer looking to grow in any way, the Billboard 500 Club is for you. I've been a part of it for close to 20 months now. I've seen the most improvement in myself than I have ever thought was possible. The network is incredible, the information is incredible, and the opportunities are like nowhere else on the internet. There's over 70 mentors who are some of the most successful in the industry, teaching up-and-coming people like you and me. And so, don't wait too long. There's a limited capacity. Once the club reaches 500 members, they'll be closing it off as sort of its own ecosystem of executives and artists, with the intention of making, super, I guess, intentional music that's probably the best word for it. Yeah, I really can't recommend it enough. It's changed my life. I'm doing this YouTube stuff because of it, learning like crazy. I'm having so much fun breaking these songs down and getting super analytical, kind of posh, or whatever you would say, just getting way too analytical of this music. But anyway, I love this song. The thing that I'm definitely going to be taking away from it is don't be afraid, obviously, to go and get super intense rhythmically. I'm sure a jazz musician would love to hear this song and try to break down what's going on in the rhythm section, especially in the rhythm and the bass, but also strategically using rhythm to convey different ideas and messages, and contrasting in other sections. I really appreciate how there was pretty much the same elements going through the whole time, and the variation is what kept it interesting. I love kind of watching these groups as well. It kind of gives me insight on what's working for kind of male and female personalities. I've broken down both groups, individual singers, and if you wanted to watch any more of those videos, would love to have you check some of them out on Patreon or on YouTube here. But anyway, my name is Logan Klaus. My social media is in the description. Send me a message. I'd love to talk about it. If you have questions about the club, if you want to, talk about plugins, music, and, send me the tracks that you're working on. Questions about the application process for the Billboard500.com for entering into the club, or kind of getting to know deeper and becoming part of this community that we're building here. We'd love to have you. But anyway, please consider subscribing to the Music Industry Contact on YouTube, follow on Facebook and Instagram, and thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great time. Thanks again. Bye-bye.